Yeah, come off all of that. If you went to see Melania, if you stayed home, it's fine. If you went to see Melania, I'm gonna go ahead and need all them complaints and gripes and grievances. Because here's the thing. Not only did you choose to spend money that way, you spent time in a theater watching a woman who received $28 million for a camera to follow her around and show you how rich she is. Shout out to all the subscribers and the members here on the channel. Don't forget to like the video. My name is Reese Waters, and I'm troubled. As many of you guys know, I grew up in the DC area, and that meant hitting a curry out, bragging on Joe Gibbs, and defending Marion Barry. Oh, hold on, I got a notification. I told Twitch I was gonna start streaming next month. Hey, Twitch set me up. Sorry, I had to. And eventually, it meant once I got to a certain age, the age where I could read.
You should though. We gotta start teaching our kids though, just financial wealth and literacy and all that. That shit early, because by the time they get to 9th grade, they should be just learning how to start businesses and how to. But they don't really need to know how to read.
No, I was in grade school. I wasn't. Once I got to the point where I could read, it meant running downstairs and grabbing the Washington Post, whether it was to hit the comic strip or whether it was to read the sports section, or it was really those two. It's really those two. And I was blessed to be able to grow up reading the likes of Tom Boswell and Tony Kornheiser and Michael Wilbon, and that's not to mention those that paved the way, like George Will and Woodward and Bernstein and Shirley Povich. They were the fathers.
You are the father.
So when I heard that Jeff Bezos was going to take over the Washington Post, I'm like, well, yeah, he's not. I mean, you could do worse. You could do worse. He'll do. He was basically the Amazon basics of running your local paper. Like, he'll do in a pinch. It's fine. But little did I know what was in store, that the kind of man that would be making the operating decisions for the paper of record in our nation's capital would be doing stuff like this.
Guys, I was fucking dying, okay? They posted this and they said, my friends and I enjoyed the premiere of Melania's movie, okay? And when I tell you the response to this was the best response I ever heard, they said, did you dress up as the redacted files?
$70 million, which is kind of weird, because if people are making decisions like that, you would never get Amazon basics off the ground. Like, what kind of model are you showing us, Jeff Bezos? This is not the basic model at all. So the same week as I am decompressing the man paying that much money for a home movie, the kind of film that Master P was marketing in the 90s and the early 2000s.
This how it all started. That's me, P, and that's Friendly, the crooked cop.
Me trying to reconcile that Jeff Bezos would spend his money that way, I also get hit with this. Washington Post begins sweeping layoffs as it sharply scales back news coverage. The Washington Post is like, wait a minute. Was that CBS News? I know y'all ain't talking. You talking about some scaling back news coverage. Where's the next Erica Kirk town hall?
This is Honestly, and I'm Barry Weiss. We started this podcast 9 years ago because a white woman in Minnesota served a chicken quesadilla to a man and was immediately accused of cultural appropriation.
Matter of fact, CBS News, I got a scoop for you. Let me know when you cover this one. Emails show that CBS's Barry Weiss's wife, Nellie Bowles, was a close friend of Jeffrey Epstein in 2018. Weiss has long been accused of having ties to Jewish and Israeli intelligence agents. Quote, "When are you and your babe back in NYC?" sent in 2018. Weiss and Bowles married in 2020. Emails also show Bowles connected to Marsha Drovkova, a Russian VC investor in SV companies. Hey, Barry Weiss, did you give Erica Kirk those recipes from the Epstein dinner? You got to keep it in the family. You know, we losing recipes.
What's wrong with today? The young ladies today, they're not learning from mom how to cook. We're losing recipes.
We losing recipes. Make sure you keep that in the family. I need a reputable news source for this one. Bezos orders deep job cuts at Washington Post. The Washington Post moved at the behest of owner Jeff Bezos to cut a third of its entire workforce. The layoffs affect every corner of the newsroom. In a newsroom Zoom call, executive director Matt Murray called the move a strategic reset. It needs to compete in the era of artificial intelligence. The paper had not evolved with the times, he said, and the changes were overdue in light of difficult and even disappointing realities. Okay. A few things. I don't question the headwinds that would confront any news organization in 2026, but especially a newspaper, or at least what was historically a newspaper. I don't question that. It's just, if you want to make the case that we need to evolve in order to compete, $70 million might have gone some ways towards that evolution, or at the very minimum might have helped bridge your current employees back to sustainability. But no, you give us the layoff the same week. And the wildest thing is that's so MAGA, because I thought that Donald Trump giving us the white South Africans being brought in during mass deportation was going to be as wild as it got. I see your importation of white South Africans during mass deportation, and I raise you a jet from Qatar during America First. I see your jet from Qatar during America First, and I raise you bailing out Argentina during America First. I see you bailing out Argentina during America First, and I raise you taking the war on drugs into Venezuela after pardoning the president of Honduras. All y'all thinking too small. You can't miss the forest for the trees. Let's go big picture. How about the Law and Order administration and president with felonies? Come on. They foretold literally all of this. It is wild. The same week that you blow $70 million on a documentary where Melania pocketed $28 million to walk in and out of rooms.
There were 3-4 other people in the screening that I was in. One of them, I think, was a journalist as well. So people clearly voted with their feet. And I'm afraid they were entirely correct to do so. They made the right choice. It's very long, or it seemed very long, because it's very boring. About 2/3 of the runtime seems to be shots of Melania leaving a building and getting in a car, and then being in the car for a bit, and then getting out of the car and onto a plane, and then being on the plane for a bit, and then sometimes getting off the plane and back into a different car.
You laying people off. With the job cuts, the storied newspaper narrows the scope of its ambitions for the foreseeable future. It is a remarkable reversal for a vital pillar of American journalism that had looked to Bezos, one of the wealthiest people on earth, as a champion and a financial savior. And consider me among those who not only thought that Jeff Bezos came in order to use his resources to keep this vital pillar of American journalism afloat. And now that they say our scope must be narrowed, I can't imagine how many stories we're not about to get.
ICE has been buying warehouses all over the country, preparing to put human beings in there. That's right. They're doubling down on their detention centers. And I actually saw a video of someone showing that they're calling them concentration centers. And if you think that they're only going to be putting immigrants in there, you're fucking stupid. It will also be people like me, especially anyone who stands up against what's happening right now. They're gonna try to drag our asses into these fucking detention centers. They are spending billions of dollars on this. They've spent, just for 2 of these fucking stupid warehouses, they spent $172 million. But they don't have money for you to get health care. And they don't have money to do anything to improve conditions in this fucking godforsaken country. The warehouses, many of which were originally designed and marketed as e-commerce distribution facilities, represent a significant pivot for the administration's $45 billion immigration detention build-out. Last year, it relied on tent camps constructed in remote places like the Florida Everglades and an army base in Texas. Go ahead and take a good fucking look at what this government is planning to do.
Which I suppose is convenient for the man who just accepted $28 million for his wife's phone camera roll. Murray said the Post will shutter its sports desk while keeping some sports reporters who will write features. It will likewise close its book section and suspend the signature podcast Post Reports. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Did you say suspend its signature podcast? Huh? Well, because the thing that you said earlier was that we need to evolve. And you have a podcast and that's what you're choosing to suspend while you narrow the scope? That's a little on the nose, ain't it? I mean, come on. You wouldn't want your signature podcast to be discussing, breaking news that's getting undercovered.
Who needs a hospital when you could have an AI agent?
It's an increased investment over what we currently spend for Medicaid in these rural healthcare systems. It's the largest investment of its kind ever made. And all the states, 50 states, were given a chance to compete for this money. They all got some of it. And a large number of these applications included mental health support systems. But I'm telling you right now, there's no question about it, whether you want it or not, the best way to help some of these communities is going to be AI-based avatars.
So what Dr. Oz just said there is honestly pretty crazy to me, because rural hospitals really need money. They're struggling. They have closures that have been going on nationwide, and they had this injection of money to, in theory, support some of these rural hospitals. But solutions like AI character agents can only take you so far if the bottleneck is actually receiving care. A $50 billion one-time injection can only take you so far. And if the different interventions are not improving access, that bottleneck of actually receiving care is not going to be overcome. So we're going to dramatically decrease Medicaid spending, which disproportionately helps these different rural areas, and instead have a one-time cash infusion into the different companies and products that are trying to test out these new interventions. This podcast here, Trade-Offs, is actually going into some of the different interventions and how this Rural Healthcare Transformation Fund came about and how different states are handling the money. I highly recommend you follow these along. But I think it's a bigger question about what we do in this moment if we're going to lose such a large influx of cash that is supporting these different health systems. What is to come later on? Personally, I think there are going to be many areas where AI is transformative in healthcare. But if we still have these bottlenecks of access and receiving care, how are we going to have these things that are kind of added on as another layer to help these individuals who really need to get in front of a doctor?
The international desk will shrink dramatically. Among those laid off, the paper's Ukraine bureau chief and correspondent, the latter of whom was in a war zone. The paper's entire Middle East desk was let go, according to their social media posts. So too was Caroline O'Donovan, the reporter who covers Amazon, the primary source of Bezos' wealth. Now, I don't know whether to be disgusted that you have a reporter who just covers Amazon, or impressed that you kept a reporter who just covers Amazon this long. That could go either way. Unlike, the Ukraine bureau chief and the entire Middle East desk. I guess we're just gonna have to get all the reporting from the White House now, aren't we?
Melania Trump has finally brought the American tradition of having a pet in the White House back. Take a look.
The First Lady made the announcement a few days ago when she showed up at an event with this pig.
This ranks among the darkest days in the history of one of the world's greatest news organizations, former executive editor Marty Baron said in a statement Wednesday. The Washington Post's ambitions will be sharply diminished, its talented and brave staff will be further depleted, and the public will be denied the ground-level, fact-based reporting in our communities and around the world that's needed more than ever. While acknowledging that the media industry as a whole is struggling, Barron blamed Bezos for exacerbating the newspaper's woes through ill-conceived decisions, including killing an endorsement in fall 2024 of Kamala Harris for president. That choice, which Bezos took responsibility for, led hundreds of thousands of subscribers to cancel their subscriptions. Let's unpack. So you decided to cancel the newspaper's endorsement of Kamala Harris, and within a year, you're paying $70 million to watch Melania Trump go through her hamper. Doesn't sound like objectivity was the goal. No, that looks pretty much like putting your thumb on the coverage of the newspaper that you own. You know, the kind of thing that you always deny is the case. But what you can't deny is the case is the reaction of the decision that you made and the ramifications of that reaction, which are being felt today. In other words, you remember all those headwinds we were talking about competing as a news? It's called Jeff Bezos. That's your headwinds. It's called Jeff Bezos. I said headwinds. Now, it didn't have nothing to do with that, but I guess pun intended. Under Barron, whom Bezos inherited as executive editor, the paper flourished, flexing journalistic muscle and accountability reporting on President Trump's first term in office. It reaped rewards from readers too, exceeding 3 million paying subscribers. It's now far below that level, according to a person at the paper with knowledge. Now the Post appears poised to appeal primarily to MAGA. It's primarily the matter of fact, I would go ahead and suspend distribution in DC and Maryland. Just go way out to Virginia. And Alexandria and Arlington go out to Loudoun and pass. That's just push it out there. Washington Post gonna be the only local newspaper that ain't local. You just take that to Oklahoma. Yeah, just take it as far away. Drive till you run out of gas. And then just drop off all your papers. That's the best thing you can do with the current Washington Post. Hey, you ask people how they felt about this. Ask them how they felt about this, and then you'll know whether or not they are interested in the new Washington Post. There's no question you can produce a world-class news report with fewer people, but the how and why matter. What's the strategy, says former Post executive editor Marcus Broschli. I can tell you the strategy. Reach around and make sure you cup the bottom. That's the strategy. That's clearly the strategy. I ain't paying for no other man's wife's home movies. In recent weeks, scores of journalists wrote letters to Bezos to preserve the Post. He has a personal wealth estimated at $261 billion by the Bloomberg Billionaires Index, but his thinking about the paper has evolved since he bought it in 2013 from the Graham family for $250 million. He spoke then about the paper as a civic investment, although one for which he wanted innovation to drive financial sustainability. He poured money into it. The newsroom grew by about 85% at its peak. Some former Post executives say a stripped-down newsroom from those heights could easily still dominate audiences in the greater Washington, D.C. These layoffs are not inevitable. A newsroom cannot be hollowed out without consequences for its credibility, its reach, and its future, said the union in a statement. If Jeff Bezos is no longer willing to invest in the mission that has defined this paper for generations and served the millions who depend on Post journalism, the Post deserves a steward that will. Amen to that. And what did Bloomberg say? $261 billion? $261 billion. So here's a question I have. Obviously, I'm well aware of how much your finances have benefited from Donald Trump's stewardship. No doubt. Oh, they haven't? They have? Be careful. Be careful. Be careful now. Because the layoffs will look bad. You know what I mean? Be careful what message you're putting out there. Yeah, exactly. Hey, you better be careful who you keep on at the Post. Ask your man Donald Trump what happens when you have a bunch of loyalists who don't know what the job entails surrounding you in charge of major projects. I don't know. You might accidentally get your name leaked during the Epstein drop. You know, that's how it goes. Oops. Ain't nobody tell you how to pay Bonnie. Ain't nobody tell you to do that. Here's the thing. $261 billion. Okay. Has your quality of life, your lifestyle demonstrably changed since Donald Trump has taken office? How much has your quality of life benefited since Donald Trump has taken office? Because the thing is, the quality of your name has suffered greatly. So I hope it was worth it. I hope it was worth it. More than $70 million, I can tell you that right now.
It soared past expectations, bringing in more than $7 million at the box office in its opening weekend. Now, that is the most of any non-concert documentary in a decade. Now, legacy film reviewers were so certain that it wouldn't do well, they would be wrong. Emily, my mom went to this weekend in Florida. She said not only was the theater packed, it was, standing room only if you could try to sneak in the back of the theater. People were cheering through it. They were excited. It was interactive. People interplaying with the film. She said it was just electric. Electric.
Oh, I'm so glad you could come, Fox News. MAGAs, come on down here. I know so many of you guys ran down to go see Melania to own the libs. What I'm gonna need from y'all is any of the complaints that you guys have levied about the economy and affordability and all of that inflation. I'm gonna need all of that. I'm gonna need the cost of living, the housing crisis. I'm gonna need all of that. Yeah, come off all of that. If you went to see Melania, if you stayed home, it's fine. If you went to see Melania, I'm gonna go ahead and need all them complaints and gripes and grievances. Because here's the thing. Not only did you choose to spend money that way, you spent time in a theater watching a woman who received $28 million for a camera to follow her around and show you how rich she is. I'm not gonna argue with you about the quality of the movie. I'm really not. You know what I mean? I stopped arguing with people about the quality of films after Make 'Em Say I'm not arguing with you about that. You know what I mean? A classic is a classic. If you can't see it.
Huh? I made you. Look at you. Look at all. Well, anyway, I still made your mother.
How about the fact that they sat there and received how many times the American median income to show you the fruits of the grift and had you pay for the privilege? And then has Fox News out there taunting you after the fact. Melania's fighting back. It says Melania has already outgrossed 5 2025 Oscar nominees. Okay, Jeff Bezos. Okay, Jeff Bezos, you want to fight back? You want to make it a sound financial decision? You want to fight back? Okay, let's play that game. Scroll down. No, scroll down. That post, scroll down. Let's see, we got an officer giving out a ticket to Melania. We got an ad for Melania too, back to Slovenia. Now what is this? Movie so atrocious, even Greg Abbott ran out of the theater. Take me off. Take me off. Take me off. Go to the next meme. Let's see, we got our ratings, a 6% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 1.3 on IMDb. Here are our top documentaries. Okay, it's not breaking into those yet. Oh, here goes some films from this year. Okay, Wicked, $728 million worldwide. We got Dune. I'm not seeing it. Here we go. It's outgrossed just about everyone who's seen it. Game, set, and match. MAGAs, we've been trying to tell you for literally years. Made y'all pay for the privilege. My goodness. Yeah, those are the real numbers. And that's despite using the highest office in the land for promotion.
Why do you feel it is appropriate to use an official White House event to promote your documentary?
This is not promotion. We are here celebrating the release of the hostages of Aviva and Keith. They were in Washington, D.C. They called me. They said they would like to come over to thank me and to give hugs, and that's why we are here. It has nothing to do with promotion.
Well, if I know MAGA, then you could probably just run the tape back, I don't know, 30, 40 seconds, and it'll literally be promotion.
It was an emotional meeting, and it is captured on camera and available to see in my new film, Melania. It was very emotional.
Hated it. But as is usually the case, there's no way for them to launder this level of grift without the cooperation of the media. And thanks to Jeff Bezos, they just got a new collaborator. Congratulations. I can't imagine what fiction we about to read in the Washington Post. Because I've been seeing what they've been putting online. MAGA media, they just making stuff up now. They got nothing.
This is the funniest thing I have ever read in my entire life. And out of all the things that never happened, this never happened the most. What I'm about to read you is an actual post by MAGA conservative and self-proclaimed alpha male Nick Adams from X and his experience going to see the Melania movie. End scene. I'm settling in for a showing of Melania, and the theater is packed. Earlier, a bystander asked if I was headed to see Avatar, and I stopped dead in my tracks. Avatar? No, son, I curtly replied. I don't watch woke movies. I'm here to see the groundbreaking documentary about our incredibly talented First Lady. The man's two little girls began jumping up and down, pulling on his sleeve and begging, Daddy, we want to see Melania. But, he stammered, I thought you girls wanted to see Zootopia too. No, they said, now nearly shouting. We want to see Melania. She's the most beautiful First Lady ever. The father was scrambling, stressed out, and disoriented. Girls, I'm afraid you aren't the only ones who are captivated by President Trump and his beautiful wife, I said, kneeling to get to their level. Virtually everyone in this theater is here for the 7:30 p.m. showing, and it's been sold out for days. Tears began to well up in their eyes. But, I said in a hushed tone, I happen to have a few extra tickets with me, and I'd like you and your dad to have them. They jumped for joy and began hugging their father. He looked relieved as he wiped sweat off his brow with a smile. I handed him the tickets and pulled him close. Raise these girls right, I whispered. Teach them to be classy, conservative women of faith like Melania. Don't let them become like Meghan Markle, capiche? He hugged me and thanked me profusely. What are you gonna do now, he asked. Don't worry about me, son, I told him, with a twinkle in my eye. I've already got tickets to the next showing. End scene. Let's file this under fiction, and MAGA is so fucking weird.
Coming soon to what used to be the Washington Post. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and especially thank you for all your fantastic comments.
Sewer rat may taste like pumpkin pie, but I'd never know because I wouldn't eat the filthy mother.
Hey, keep it clean. We got a PG-13 operation here. We got a lot of young eyes and ears. And a lot of old eyes and ears. It's me. I'm the old eyes and ears. All y'all old viewers know, because even as recent as a couple years ago, if something was behind me, I'd just go get it. You fast forward to 2026, something behind me. Because I ain't turning around. And a special shout out to the mods for preserving the sanctity of the chat. I see y'all getting salty with them. That is YouTube that is flagging y'all, not the mods. They are just out here doing the Lord's work. But as I was saying, I appreciate all your phenomenal comments like this. Love the new set. Keep up the fantastic work. Love it all the way from Northern Ireland. Well, a iron go bra to you. I like the new set. You look great in your new space. Why, thank you, Ozark Hillbilly Hippie. Love the new set, but missed the little hands from your last spot. Was those from your babies? Ah, yes, it was. And you know, Reese loved the kids, so we gotta find a little space for that somewhere on the set. Oh, we got another one. I like the Basquiat art piece, and of course, B. Marley. Now, we're not using regular clothes hangers like we're in college, Reese. Handle that. Well, you know, I got something. This is actually supposed to be a professional for jerseys. It's a hanger for jerseys. What are the instructions? They didn't give me no instructions. Well, they think I'm an architect or something? You know what? I got something.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
This is what it made right here. So, ain't that nice? So we got a nice little professional hanger we can use moving forward. And a special shout out to Anjanette, who sent me this message. Hey, Reese, happy Wednesday. I found it, the Pick Me doll. Oh, they done did it now. And it's $375. It should be cheap. A Pick Me doll should absolutely be cheap. I'm surprised it's not at the dollar store. I think that's what Nancy Mace was going for in her voting outfit. I'm pretty sure that was it. She was the model.
But wait, there's more.
I gotta get a Pick Me doll on the peoplesgetup.com. I gotta get somebody to design my own Pick Me doll. By the way, did I show y'all I got some new stuff coming out for Black History Month? My theme this year, we still here. You know what I mean? We still here. Which definitely means a lot, considering all that we're up against. Because history is generally taught as a series of finished chapters, books clothed in shelves. But I chose We Still Here for this year's Black History Month because it reminds me that history isn't just behind us, it's living, breathing, moving, and evolving through every one of us. For centuries, the narrative of the Black experience has been tested by systemic efforts to erase, silence, or diminish it, something that's only been increasing in recent years. Yet from the resilient spirits of ancestors who survived the Middle Passage to the brilliance of the innovators, artists, and activists shaping our world today, the story has never been broken. To say we're still here is an act of profound joy and defiance, and it means we're still creating, still defining global culture from music to technology, and still leading, breaking glass ceilings in boardrooms and courtrooms, and no, we didn't need DEI to do it. We're still healing, turning historical trauma into a legacy of wellness and community. So this year, I don't just want to look back at where we've been, but look at all the people around me and celebrate the persistence of a people who were never supposed to make it, yet continue to thrive. We're the dream realized, the song unsung, and the future unfolding. We're not just a footnote in history up to the whims of this governor or that president to take down because they got in their feelings. We are the authors of the next chapter. We still here.